This is the Outdoor Journey Show, where life takes you outdoors. The Outdoor Journey Show with Matt Gaddis and Ty Morgan, brought to you by Journey Hunts and the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation.
Matt Gaddis with the Outdoor Journey Show. I'm here with Ty Morgan. And Ty, you know, when I start thinking about the spring, I think about all the different things that people use as kind of symbols or what it is that they think about the spring, you know, and people think of buds on a tree or
flowers, everything's prepping.
Yeah, the birds singing, you know, all those things. But for the avid hunter, it's really about the gobble of the turkey.
Yes.
You know?
There's nothing better than that sound, especially in the first early morn. You hear that nice gobble out in the distance.
I agree. My last, I live up in Mesa on the hill, and so I drive 40 minutes down here into Grand Junction every morning. My last 5 or 6 days, every day, I'm seeing strutting turkey along the side of the road as I'm coming down, and that is just definitely the sign of the spring.
That's going to give you the little bit of the jitters. You know, and you know, with all the big seasons behind us, you know, really with you know, deer and elk and everything else, this is now the time to start thinking it's turkey time.
Absolutely, you know, and this is, I remember going back 20 years ago when I first started. I grew up in Pennsylvania, and I was hunting New Jersey and Pennsylvania, and I remember 20 years ago, I'd go with my friend Rich, and we'd go into the woods, and literally we would hunt for a week straight and not see another turkey hunter. Mm-hmm. That's all changed.
Yeah,
I mean, that's all changed.
Good luck with that now.
Yeah, it's just a different scenario. It's a different scene these days, and people are in the woods hunting turkey because they love hunting turkey. They love the gobble. They love the thrill of calling something into you and bringing something to you rather than you chasing something down. There's a thrilling experience.
Yeah,
with
you
hunting
become
turkey.
the master of the woods versus hopefully you know, tracking something good. But this one requires a little more skill.
Absolutely, it does. And you know, it's changed. The whole market of turkey hunting has changed. It was hard years ago to even find equipment and gear, and we can talk about some of that, but really when you read about turkey hunting, when you see shows about turkey hunting now, and when you experience it, there's people who their whole pursuit in hunting has become turkey. That is really their pursuit. I mean, there's all kinds of turkey slams now, and that's kind of the new gig going on right now.
And these are big hunts. This is a big deal. I mean, there's a lot.
Oh yeah.
So have you done any of these yourself?
I've actually been able to shoot 2 of the turkey for the Grand Slam. I've been able to shoot some eastern birds with a bow, and I've been able to shoot the Merriam's turkey here with the bow. But in order to complete the Grand Slam, you have to shoot an Osceola located in Florida, and then a Rio Grande, which is located in different parts of our country, some out west from here and then south of here.
So you got to do some traveling.
Yeah, you got to do some traveling. It's become a big industry deal. So.
I'll be darned. There is, you know, quite a few as I'm looking here. I mean, everything, as you said, the Grand Slam, I mean, there are more that people have added to this to make this more of an adventure, because it really is an outdoor adventure that, you know, when you get into turkey hunting, whether you're hunting deer, elk, but same with turkey. Now it's the almighty, as you would say, Grand Slam.
Right. And it is. It's a journey, you know, and people are taking this journey through turkey hunting, and there's the Grand Slam, and then you can go further than that to the Royal Slam, where you had the Goulds, which is located down in Mexico, and people are doing that. And with this travel, you can still relatively hunt turkey for a low amount of money, but there's travel involved now. They've even gone further to a World Slam, the Mexican Slam, the Canadian Slam. Who knows what slam's coming next, but there's slams for everything in the turkey world now.
It's pretty amazing.
It is. It is.
Now just, you know, your standard, I'm more of an upland game bird. You know, I love pheasant. I love chucker, quail, you know, that kind of hunting. When it comes to hunting turkey, you can't just walk out in jeans and a T-shirt. You need to be geared up properly.
Yeah, definitely. And the difference between what I experience in the fall when I'm hunting big game, where scent is a major factor, movement is definitely a factor. If you're hunting elk in particular, you know, mule deer, you can get away with a little bit more of a movement than you can with elk. But with turkey, it's all about their eyesight. I mean, they can just see. Sometimes I feel like I just blink my eyes and they see.
They spotted you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they do. And it's funny because coming out here, I'd grown up in the Northeast, and then coming out here and seeing the difference even between the eastern bird and the Merriam's bird is night and day too. I mean, that eastern bird, because there's a lot more traffic in the eastern woods, less ground to hunt on, and then more traffic in that less ground, you know, they experience people a whole lot more. And so movement there is hypercritical. Here, I've been able to get away with a little bit of movement with the Merriam's turkey, but still, eyesight is the key.
So studying up on where you're going to hunt is key, I think, then, and making sure, because as you said, every hunt's a little bit different, and if you don't know, you're going to have a really bad day or you're going to have a really good day.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. And that's the case in all hunting. I believe, we kind of look to these ladies and these men who have become kind of idols in the outdoor industry, the prime hunters in the outdoor industry. And I believe there's a lot of great hunters right here on the Western Slope. They may never be recognized as great hunters, but what really separates people is opportunity. You got to have time in the woods.
Sure.
Then you've got to be what you're talking about. You got to be where the animals are.
Right.
You can hunt for a month straight, and if you're not where the animal is that you're trying to hunt, it doesn't
Does you
really
no
matter.
good.
Yeah, it does you no good at all. So, time in the woods, time afield, and being in the right place is key. And I actually believe there's guys who are great hunters, great shooters, and they just don't have as much opportunity.
Right.
And so it doesn't make them any less special, doesn't make it any less important to them. They love being out there. But, if you get the time to be in the woods and you combine that with great practice, great skills, putting your time in to get prepared, being where the animals are, your chances of success obviously go up as you're spending more time in the woods.
Now, when it comes to turkey hunting now, you've got all your equipment. You've studied the area where you're going to hunt your animal. You've found them. They aren't just going to walk up to you and say, here I am. You got to do a little more work, and that is calling them in. Now, there's a lot of myths. Do you call too much? Do you call too little? But having the proper call is certainly key for the type of bird that you're hunting.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you read material and even listen to people speaking about calling, you hear both of those extremes. Don't call too much, barely call at all, and you can overcall. And I've just studied what people do who are successful. And I have a friend, actually, the owner of Illinois Connection, a great whitetail place back in the state of Illinois. And, I was sitting and talking with him as I was on a deer hunt there, a whitetail hunt there this past fall with my son. And he was telling me he calls non-stop. Now, this guy is such an avid turkey hunter. I mean, he's caught a turkey with his hands on several occasions. He's called them that close. So I've never had him really walk on me, or step on me, but he has. And he demonstrated for me how he calls, and he calls non-stop. You hear both extremes, and experience is the best teacher.
Right.
It's the best teacher. You got to get in the woods. Once you've found where they're at, you've roosted them the night before, which is a great technique. Go find where they're going to be for that next morning. And then once you do that, I guess you just got to kind of feel it out. I probably call more than most, but it's a preferential thing, and you just got to feel it out.
Now, there are different kinds of calls. When you go to a Cabela's or you go to a Sportsman's Warehouse or wherever you may go to find your hunting gear, there are so many selections to choose from. What are some of the better ones to choose, or is it best to have one of each? What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, well, turkey hunting, again, a turkey is an individual. Every turkey is an individual bird. And when I sit and listen to them talk to each other, when you get into a flock of birds and you're listening to them, there's all kinds of different sounds. And so I don't know that there's this perfect single call. I believe multiple calls is always the way to go. I have diaphragm calls on me all the time because I like to have a mouth call in my mouth. I don't have to move. I can make, the calls that I need to without movement. And so I always have a diaphragm in my mouth, a diaphragm call in my mouth. But I've learned to love Black Eagle calls. And Randy Kitts, who is the owner of Black Eagle Arrows, has made some excellent calls. And they have a slate call. They actually have 3 of them. They have just a standard slate call that's custom made just for them. They have a slate glass combo. And then they also have a slate aluminum combo. And those combinations allow you to make some real different sounds. And it's kind of crazy, but it's just, I look at elk hunting like turkey hunting, just 800 pounds more,
right.
And it's the same philosophy. Just like some elk respond to a certain call, some turkey respond to a certain call. So I have my slate calls going, I have my diaphragms going, and then also I always have a box call. I'm a huge fan of a box call because it's simple. It's pretty hard to mess up a sound on a box call. And again, Black Eagle Arrows makes a great box call, the Black Heart box call, and it's a mahogany bottom with a purple heart lid. It's a good looking call, but more importantly than the look, it's a great sounding call. And so there's many great calls out there on the market. Just Black Eagle has just been a preference for me.
Now, there's 2 ways to hunt turkey. You got shotgun or bow. In your experience and what you've hunted, what do you find more enjoyable? What are some suggestions if you're doing one or the other?
I'm a diehard archer. And so, I live for every archery season around the entire season, around the entire year, rather. Right. Anywhere I can go with a bow, I go. I'll take my bear archery bow with me and go anywhere. But what I really love about archery hunting is how close you have to get to those birds. And again, talking about Randy Kitts and Black Eagle Arrows, his arrows are incredible. It's what I go into the woods with. And I like to have the ability to shoot out to that 50, 60-yard range. And so I'm definitely on the archery side.
On the shotgun side, is there, some choices that you would recommend for people?
Yeah, lots of debate these days between what shot to shoot with. There's light shot and there's heavy shot. I remember going back to those old days where we had a 4.6 combo shot that we used to go out with and hunt, and it was very effective. And today, man, again, because the industry has grown, marketing has grown, and availability of equipment has grown. And so now the debate is between the 3-inch or the 3.5-inch Magnum. Studies show, actually, the studies I read show that at 40 yards, the percentage of shot within that area, a head area, is identical. And so I would have thought, like many, that the 3.5-inch shot, that mag is going to give you all that more distance, that much tighter of a pattern. And it really doesn't. It's about the same. And same thing with the lighter and heavy loads. It's really close when you look at the studies as to which way to go. But the lighter load does give you a slight percentage more shot within your kill area than the heavier loads in tests, and a little bit better penetration. I don't know how much that really matters on a turkey hunt, because really one bead in a turkey's head and you've got it.
That's all that matters.
Takes, so.
Well, coming up, we are going to be chatting with Randy Kitts, owner of Black Eagle Arrows, right here on Outdoor Journey.
This is the Outdoor Journey Show, where life takes you outdoors. This is the Outdoor Journey Show, where life takes you outdoors. The Outdoor Journey Show with Matt Gatus and Ty Morgan, brought to you by Journey Hunts and the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation.
Hey, welcome back to the Outdoor Journey Show. We're talking about turkey hunting. It's kind of the sign of the spring, you know, the sounds of the spring. And it's exciting to get out there and hear those turkeys gobbling and be
You're feeling an itch. This is the time to start thinking about it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And for those of you who are listening to our show, we're going to have a mailbag, which you can give us your questions and just email me, Matt@JourneyHunts.com, and we'll be glad to answer your question. And each week, we're going to give a little something away that's based on our show. And so email us your questions. We'll read one of those online, answer your question, and you'll be getting some prizes.
And there are so many questions. If you're a new hunter, especially when it comes to turkey hunting, doesn't matter what that question may be, we want them because, like myself, I'm a hunter. I wouldn't say I'm an avid hunter. You're an avid hunter. So we go to the experts. We can ask those questions. We all grow better, and get outdoors and get to do some amazing things out there, like doing some turkey hunting.
Right. Ty, I know you have a turkey hunting story from up here on the Grand Mesa. Why don't you share that story with us? I like it.
It was fun. I was blessed with an opportunity to go on some private land and to be able to get up there and, again, having to sit quietly and do some calling and just being out in nature, I think, is really the enjoyment for me. And then, of course, the kill just kind of adds to that. And we were able to call in a really, really big tom. I was able to get a shot off. I was using shotgun that particular year, and he was right on the edge of a ridge, which was really thick brush there. So I thought I was safe. I was able to drop this turkey. As I start making my way up to him, he started fluttering. I thought, well, I don't know if I should shoot him again because I really didn't want any more shot in him. So I thought I could get to him, and this was a little ways away. So I'm making my way up to him, but I don't want to be too fast because if he isn't hurt as I thought he was, he might take off. Well,
sure.
He did. As soon as I got up to him, he made his way over the backside of that ridge and went about 10 yards down this real thick brush ridge. And I didn't know what to do. I'm like, okay, should I shoot him again? I'm like, okay, he stopped. I can make this. This isn't that far. I get about 10 feet from him and he went berserk and he went almost 3/4 of the way down this ridge, which was another 40 or 50 yards. It took me almost 3.5 hours to get down and back up because that was the only way to go. After it was all said and done, I got my turkey. It's something that didn't deter me from ever going again because I think that's part of the hunt, the surroundings and being a part of it.
Absolutely.
And making sure you follow through with the kill too. You
right.
Can't just say, well, he's gone. You need to go after him. I was able to recover that bird and it was a good day all in all.
That's turkey hunting in the Rocky Mountains for sure, man.
Right there.
That oak scrub is thick. No doubt about it. Let's get Randy Kitts on the phone and let's bring Randy in and he is an expert. Black Eagle Arrows, they make some incredible turkey calls. So let's find out a little bit from an expert, really how he approaches some turkey hunting scenarios.
Sounds good.
Randy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you guys?
Doing well. Randy.
You come to the right place, that's for sure.
Well, that's good. That's good. Tell us a little bit about how you got started in the industry.
Well, for me, I've been in the hunting industry now for probably the better part of 15 years. I've helped start 3 different TV shows, and that was kind of my introduction into the hunting world. I was a business manager for TV shows. Essentially, I handled all the sponsors. And so I got my foot in the door. And then I saw an opportunity with some arrows. I wanted to get into the business and kind of took off from there.
Tell us a little bit about your arrows. I mean, I know I'm a huge fan. I mean, I shoot your deep impact arrows, Black Eagle deep impact arrows, and I absolutely love them. My son shoots your carnivores, but I'd like to hear from you, and I know our fans would like to hear from you about your arrows.
Well, what really separates us from the competition, and there's a lot of competition out there, a lot of great products, is really our tolerances and our guarantee. On all of our arrows, let's say you shoot the 1,000 straightness deep impact. So in those 1,000s, you'll find that most of them are going to be 1,000 straightness or better. We spine sort all of our arrows. At Black Eagle Arrows, we believe there's two key factors to building an arrow. One is spine selection within the dozen, and the other one is going to be straightness. Weight you can always deal with. And so we really focus on making sure that when a customer buys a dozen arrows from us, they're spine sorted and the straightness is very precise. And that's what separates us from everybody else.
And so for those of us who are just going out into the woods, going to do some archery hunting, or just even shooting at the range, that translates into a more consistent, more accurate ability to shoot with your arrows because of those two factors.
Yeah, you go on Facebook, Matt, and you look at the 45,000 people that follow us on Facebook in just over 2 years, matter of fact. And you're going to find a lot of that. Guys say they get our arrows, they've shot better groups than they've ever shot. They've shot more consistent than they've ever shot. And in 2 years, I think we've done a really good job really teaching the consumer, as well as a lot of the pro shops, a lot of the dealers that we got set up, the importance of those two key factors. They've always been out there. Everybody's always known it, but I don't think folks focus on it because what it does for a manufacturer, it gives a lot of folks a lot of call if they don't have a real good process. That's why you see a lot of arrows out there that are plus or minus 6,000. That means you may get a 1 in the dozen, and you may get a 12,000 straightness. And so, we've got a pretty good process. And even on our 3,000 straightness, and up until about 2 weeks from now, we won't have anything in the 6. But we're going to launch a couple new products that are going to be 6 or better at the price point of everybody else's plus or minus 6, which means when you buy our arrows, they'll be 6,000 straightness or better. Versus the competition where they're plus or minus 6. So absolutely it parlays into more accuracy. It gives you more confidence when you go in the field. And we've had guys take animals, at a really long distance. Matter of fact, I think Matt Allwine was the first one to do a 300-yard shot on video. And that was done, and I think it has 150,000 views on YouTube already or something like that, shooting the carnivores.
Yeah, I actually watched that a couple weeks ago. That was pretty impressive. And from a hunting side, I can tell you definitely, I mean, your arrows are accurate and they definitely have some punch. But I saw on Facebook this past week all of the pro shooters who are out there and just winning and placing in all kinds of competitions with your arrows. And that must be quite an honor for you.
It is. We've won several world championships, several national championships, NFA, Outdoor World National, get some of the best shooters in the world. We've taken first place. We've got a pretty good lineup of shooters. Super proud of all the guys that shoot our arrows. There's a good bunch of them. We get a lot of those. We're getting a lot more pros. We've got some guys that's been with the competition for 15, 20 plus years that have switched over and start shooting our arrows, and they just love them. So the success is great. We feel great about it. Our dealer network has picked up. We really have an arrow for everybody, whether it be a youth at 6 years old or 5 years old or 4 years old, getting their first bow, or, one of the best shooters in the world, Dan McCarthy, one of the best 3D shooters out there. We got an arrow for everybody and everywhere in between. Our hunting selection continues to grow. We got 2 new arrows coming on this year for the hunting folks. So it's exciting. In 2 years, we'll have 13 arrows. After 2 years in business, we'll have 13 full arrow selection lines and all components. So it's pretty exciting what we've done in a short period of time.
Yeah, it is. And for a lot of people out listening right now, the arrow industry is a very competitive industry. So to be able to take 13 different products into that industry effectively in that short period of time is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely competitive, and there's a lot of great products out there. Man, I don't ever claim to be the best. When you say you're the best, you exclude everybody else. It would be awfully arrogant and naive to think that we're the best. We just work real hard at trying to deliver a great product.
That's awesome. How do you transition from arrows then to turkey calls? How did that take place?
Well, one of our pro shooters, good buddy, Tim Roberts, started a company called Monster Game Calls, and he's real busy. He does a lot of new home construction, and I've had Tim's calls now for, I guess, over a year and a half, and they're great. I mean, I'm a big fan of the anodized aluminum on one side. You can play it wet. It's got slate on the other. we call it the blackout super call. I got my hands on that one. I said, man, I want one of these for Black Eagle. And so that kind of started the development of our own turkey call line, because I love to turkey hunt. I mean, I've traveled a good bit amount. I've got the Osceola turkey is the last one. Then I'll have the Grand Slam in the continental U.S. for the turkey with a bow. So that's pretty exciting. But I just like turkey hunting. And to me, it's like turkey hunting and elk hunting are very similar. Elk are turkey on steroids, but turkey are a lot of fun.
That is definitely the way we view it out here. There's no doubt about it. You have you have about 3 different slate combination calls: slate and glass, slate and aluminum. Is that correct? And then a pure slate?
That's correct. Absolutely. And then we've got the box call.
Yeah, and that's real interesting. It's a beautiful looking call and definitely a great sounding call. So how are your calls? How are your turkey calls doing in the market right now? How are you doing with them?
They're doing, to me, I think they're doing great. We're just our first year having, I don't even call it a full lineup. Next year I'll have mouth calls, I'll have predator calls, I'll have everything next year. This year we just kind of jumped in and got our feet wet with turkey calls. The response has been great. Folks having great success with our turkey calls, and like all of our products, I mean, we offer 100% money back guarantee. If you can't get it to work or you don't think it meets your expectations, we're real easy to deal with. Just call us and we'll take care of it. We don't want you to say anything bad about us. We won't say anything bad about you. If it's not a great relationship, it's okay. We want everybody to be satisfied, whether it be spending $24 on a dozen points or spending $169 on a dozen X impacts. Whatever it is, we want you to be 100% satisfied with our product. I think that's a big key to our success, is really taking care of the customer.
Randy, how do people get your product?
Well, they can always go on www.blackeaglearrows.com. But on our website, too, is a list up top for dealers. We have over 300 dealers out there that you can go to.
Well, that's awesome, Randy. We have Randy Kitts from Black Eagle Arrows. And, Randy, I just want to thank you for your time, man.
Well, thank you. Thank you guys for calling. It means so much. I appreciate it.
Matt, I got to say, learning all that we've learned today about turkey hunting, Black Eagle arrows, turkey calling, I got to say, I'm kind of excited to go turkey hunting already.
Yeah, it definitely gets you excited. It's that time of year where turkey are in the outdoors, and I just want to thank everybody for listening in. Again, you can email your questions to Matt at JourneyHunts.com, and we'll be giving some giveaways next week that will definitely keep you excited.
Be sure to join us every Saturday from 11:30 till noon for the Outdoor Journey Show, where life takes you outdoors.
This is the Outdoor Journey Show.